in that strategy.
That's NBC's Richard Engel. Richard, thank you. I'm now joined by Congressman Peter King, member of the Homeland Security Committee and chairman of the Subcommittee on Counterterrorism and Intelligence. Congressman, I want to jump right in where Richard left off. Iraq and ISIS more generally. Counterterrorism officials have told NBC News there is a threat to American interests is, quote, very high. We're seeing increased security at select airports for flights arriving in the United States from international locales. How concerned are you about this?
I think we all have to be concerned, Chris. ISIS definitely, I believe, intends to attack the United States, probably sooner rather than later. And by having the sanctuary, which they have right now in parts of Syria and Iraq, it gives them the opportunity. In addition to that, and probably more dangerous, is the number of foreign fighters. These are Europeans who have gone to fight with ISIS in Syria. Also, Americans have gone over there. And Europeans, they would be able to fly from Syria to Europe and then into the United States without getting a visa because they come from European countries. The Americans, obviously, they have American passports. They can fly back in, and we're not sure we know who all of them are. So if they are trained in any type of terror tactics where they can use explosive devices that can't be detected or are more difficult to detect, we have to be very concerned about that.
Congressman, I want to go to another hotspot in an increasingly dangerous world. We just had Ayman Mohyeldin, NBC correspondent, and I want to, he's in Jerusalem, obviously tensions high. I want to just play a little bit of where he was for just one moment. So what we're seeing there is clashes between the Israeli police and Palestinians. Congressman, we have the death of a Palestinian teenager, obviously the recent deaths of 3 Israeli teenagers. Where do we go from here? In what role? Secretary of State Kerry has put out a statement condemning and mourning the death of the Palestinian teenager. Where do we go here in a situation that looks like it's getting worse, not better?
Well, Chris, I think we have to be careful not to have an equivalency here. I mean, the 3 Israelis were kidnapped. There was obviously either collusion or condoning by Hamas, and they are part of the government. Whatever happened to that Palestinian teenager is terrible, but in no way was the Israeli government involved, and they've condemned it. So to me, there's just, we make a mistake if there's an equivalency. The fact is that you have elements of the Palestinian Authority government were involved or condoning the kidnapping and the murder of those children. I think we have to stand by Israel on this. That's our ally. They're the ones who are suffering here. And obviously no one wants this to turn into a conflagration. But I think that it's important that Israel has to define its own security, and we should not be standing in the way of that.
Congressman, I want to close on this, which is also breaking news today. Ahmed Abu Khattala, excuse me, get the name right, at a hearing, a detention hearing this morning, to the surprise of, I think, very few people. He will remain detained. I want to talk to you. Pete Williams reported earlier on the show that we got the first indication of what we suspected, that Khattala had been cooperating in terms of details of the attack and that sort of thing. Do you think the government has, to this point, handled his interrogation properly, and what do you think is the most important factor going forward in this case?
Chris, we don't know. I believe that he should be interrogated as long as we had to interrogate him, as long as information could be coming out. I mean, I would have preferred to go to Guantanamo. I know that's not going to happen. But I think the FBI interrogated should have been given as much time as they thought was necessary. And I don't know yet if that was the case. I don't think we have to worry about Miranda warnings here, because all Miranda would mean is that you couldn't use that evidence against him in a trial. I'm more concerned about getting the intelligence out. So if it turns out that we interrogated him as long as the FBI thought was necessary, then that's fine. But if we cut it short, as was done, like, for instance, at the Boston Marathon interrogation, then I think we made a big mistake. It's most important that we get all the intelligence out that we can, and I have a lot of faith in these FBI interrogators. If they feel they got it all, that's fine. But if in any way it was cut short, then I think we have to find out, what we do in the future.
And briefly, is there a role for Congress in finding that out?
Yes, on the intelligence, I'm on the Intelligence Committee, and I certainly would be asking that the FBI come in and give us the details of the interrogation, how far it went, if it could have gone further, or if they feel that they had sufficient time to get all the information they need, not just for the purpose of a conviction. To me, that's almost a side issue here. It's important to know what happened at Benghazi, more importantly, to know who else is involved currently, and also what future plans there might be to attack the United States or American interests overseas.
That's New York Congressman Peter King. Thank you, Congressman.
Chris, thank you.
Up next, popularity